Despite being a spin-off to the Might and Magic CRPG franchise, the Heroes of Might and Magic series has managed to amass a greater following and popularity than its source material, with its unique blend of turn-based strategy, management sim, and role-playing mechanics. But what are the best Heroes of Might and Magic games? Starting off with number 7 is unfortunately the most recent release, Might and Magic Heroes 7. Dropped in 2015, this game did little to improve on the franchise's iconic gameplay loop, and even the graphical improvements weren't a huge step forward when compared to the 6th game, which came out 4 entire years earlier. And speaking of, Might and Magic Heroes 6, released in 2011, takes the next spot. Despite a slight rebranding, this title remained true to its roots, with some much-needed quality-of-life improvements and a graphical overhaul. Next is the game that started it all. Back when it came out, Heroes of Might and Magic felt like a revolutionary approach to the turn-based strategy genre, mainly thanks to its implementation of exploration mechanics, previously associated with RPGs. The game itself was a bit rough around the edges though, and its sequel brought a lot of much-needed polish to many of the game's mechanics. The 4th iteration of Heroes Might and Magic was revolutionary in its own right, as it was the first title in the iconic turn-based strategy franchise to feature 3-dimensional graphics. While that by itself didn't affect the gameplay in any meaningful way, the developers did try to implement certain changes to the formula, which greatly divided the fanbase, including changing management options for their castles and giving heroes a more active role in combat. The second Heroes title improved upon its predecessor in every possible way. It was released in 1996, only a year after the original, and while it didn't change much in terms of the basic gameplay loop, it polished every aspect of it, making the entire experience much more enjoyable and approachable for newcomers. After all the controversies caused by Heroes of Might and Magic 4, the 5th game in the franchise followed a more traditional Heroes formula. Released in 2009, the game earned itself high praise among die-hard fans of the franchise, who were a bit disappointed with the way that Heroes 4 turned out, bringing back the unit upgrading and recruitment mechanics from Heroes 3, all the while reworking the game's graphics into an entirely 3D rendered fairy tale-like style. And finally, no other entry in the series captured the hearts and minds of players in the same way that Heroes of Might and Magic 3 did. It featured a fully revamped art style while leaving most of the mechanics from Heroes 2 intact. The game also included multiple gripping campaigns and added more castles and units for players to experiment with. And that's it for our list. Thank you so much for watching, and go to GameRant.com for more like this.